Welcome to The Explainer. So glad you're tuning in today because, wow, we are taking a fascinating look at a chapter that is going to completely reframe something you probably see, well, every single day. We're breaking down this textbook chapter on yoga and its relevance in the modern times. Now, I know what you're thinking. A lot of us hear the word yoga and we immediately picture, trendy fitness classes, expensive activewear, or maybe just a workout to get a little more flexible. But as we'll see, this source material makes a really compelling case that yoga is so much more than that. It's actually an ancient science of living. So let's dive right in and see how this ancient text offers some seriously practical solutions for our very, very modern lives.
Here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the science of living, history and development, the schools of yoga, yoga for modern wellness, and finally, practices for daily life.
Section 1. The Science of Living, a modern solution to modern problems.
Okay, I want you to take a quick second and just reflect on your own daily stress levels. Think about the pinging notifications, the constant deadlines, all that pressure. Why exactly do we face so much stress today? Well, according to our source chapter, the primary culprits aren't just our jam-packed schedules. The text actually asserts that our endless ambitions and our deeply materialistic lifestyles are really at the root of all this modern anxiety.
When we look at the origins of our modern imbalance, the chapter points out something kind of heartbreaking. Even children are facing high stress right now in their everyday surroundings. We're talking at school, at home, even on the playground. And when these health hazards stick around for a long time, they don't just stay in our heads. They actually lead to psychosomatic diseases and broader social unrest. Basically, our endless ambitions and materialistic attachments are creating this profound imbalance between our physical, mental, and spiritual levels. We are, quite literally, striving ourselves into sickness.
But here is the antidote. The word yoga itself is derived from the Sanskrit word yuj, which means to join, to yoke, and to unite. So think about it. The crucial point here is that if modern life is tearing us apart, fragmenting our attention and our health, yoga is literally defined as the practice of putting those pieces back together. It's this ancient system of self-development specifically designed to unite the mind, body, and spirit.
Moving on to Section 2, History and Development, a legacy as old as civilization. You see, this isn't just some modern fad. Yoga's legacy is literally as old as human civilization itself. We have stone seals from the Indus Valley civilization depicting yoga practices all the way back in 2000 BC. Fast forward a bit to the 2nd century BC, and a sage named Maharishi Patanjali actually codifies a comprehensive system known as Ashtanga Yoga, or the 8 limbs of yoga. Then jumping way ahead to the 19th century, we see prominent gurus begin to take these ancient codified practices and preach them to the global masses. That's really what brought them into the modern era. But honestly, well before it was officially codified, yoga was already deeply woven into foundational ancient texts. The word yoga is frequently referred to across all 4 Vedas: the Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sam Veda, and Atharva Veda. It's also extensively detailed in the Upanishads, major epics like the Mahabharata and the Bhagavad Gita. So yeah, its roots run incredibly deep.
And to get from those ancient, sacred texts to the yoga studios you see in your neighborhood today, well, that took a massive cultural shift. Figures like Swami Vivekananda, along with Ramakrishna Paramahansa and Maharshi Aurobindo, were absolutely pivotal in the 19th century. They were the ones who transitioned yoga from specialized, highly ancient scriptures into this accessible mass movement that anyone, anywhere could learn from.
That brings us to Section 3, the schools of yoga, paths to true knowledge.
Right at the intellectual core of this chapter, we learn something super important. Yoga is definitely not one size fits all. There are distinct schools or paths that are tailored to completely different human potentials. We have Karma Yoga, the path of action, which is all about how you perform your daily duties. Then there's Jnana Yoga, the path of knowledge, which uses deep intellect to overcome ignorance. And finally, Raja Yoga, the path of psychic control, which is basically a systematic, scientific method of culturing the mind. Let's actually break these down a bit, starting with Karma Yoga.
Now, karma literally means action. Karma Yoga emphasizes total involvement in your duties to find joy and acting with immense skill and concentration, which is known as karma sukho shalam. But honestly, the absolute most important tenet here, especially for us today, is Nishkama Karma. This means performing actions completely free from personal motives or expected results. Remember what we talked about earlier, the stress caused by endless ambitions? Well, Nishkama Karma is the direct, ancient remedy for the results-obsessed, totally burnt-out modern professional. It's like you do the work beautifully, but you detach from obsessing over the outcome. If we shift over to the next school, Jnana Yoga, the ultimate goal is a profound shift in your mindset. The text tells us that the main cause of pain and misery is avidya, or ignorance. This happens when we mistakenly identify ourselves strictly with our physical body, our possessions, or our worldly status. Jnana Yoga, on the other hand, uses deep intellect to cultivate viveka, which is discriminating knowledge. It's basically the ability to distinguish between what is temporary and unreal and what is ultimate truth. And that shift is what leads you from misery straight to actual bliss.
Finally, we have Raja Yoga. This one is highly methodical. It's based on Maharishi Patanjali's 8-limbed Ashtanga system, and this school aims to control chitta vrittis, which translates to the modifications or the fluctuations of the mind. To quiet down that constant mental chatter, Raja Yoga requires 2 foundational pillars. First is abhyasa, which is relentless, continuous practice, and second is vairagya, which means profound detachment. It's really a true psychic science of self-control.
Moving right along to Section 4, Yoga for Modern Wellness, Bridging Mind and Body.
Now, this is fascinating. Yoga isn't just about feeling spiritually grounded, it actually has measurable biological impacts. The textbook explicitly states that adopting a yogic lifestyle, along with eating a nourishing diet, creates a positive antioxidant enhancement right inside your body and neutralizes harmful free radicals. So think about that. This practice is actively protecting your cells at a microscopic level. And we achieve a lot of this biological wellness through physical postures or yogasana, like the yoga mudra or trikonasana. By physically steadying the entire body in these poses, you aren't just getting a good stretch. The text points out that this physical balance directly enhances our mental and emotional balance. It literally allows our internal physiological processes to function normally without all the friction of daily stress.
In our final section, Section 5, Practices for Daily Life, Taking It Off the Page.
Okay, we absolutely have to talk about pranayama. Pranayama involves specific breathing patterns, but let me be clear, it's so much more than just taking a deep breath. It's a tool to generate vital energy and enhance emotional stability. The big takeaway here is that pranayama actually improves your manual control over autonomic respiratory mechanisms. It's kind of like hacking into your body's automatic stress responses and essentially forcing them to calm down. And there is a very precise mechanics to this. Pranayama consists of 3 distinct phases. The first is puraka, the inhalation. The text is very specific here. It's a gentle, deep inhale that expands the chest in all directions, causing the diaphragm to contract and move downward. That creates inner space. The second phase is rechaka, which is the controlled exhalation. And the third is kumbhaka, the deliberate practice of breath retention. Mastering these 3 phases is exactly what gives you that immense autonomic control. Now, as you start applying physical asanas to your own routine, the textbook offers this fantastic, super practical safety rule. Bending should always be followed by counterbending, meaning, if you do a forward bending pose, you absolutely must follow it up with a back bending pose and vice versa. It's a brilliant little reminder that everything in this ancient science is really about returning your body and mind to a state of absolute equilibrium.
Which brings us to this incredibly powerful summary quote from the chapter. Yoga is the proven remedy for all the causes of stress and strain among the adolescents. That really firmly cements everything we've been discussing today. Whether it's the academic pressures of youth or the endless materialistic ambitions of adulthood, this ancient practice is presented as the ultimate proven solution to the modern imbalance we talked about at the very beginning of this explainer.
So, I want to leave you with this one question. Knowing its thousands of years of ancient roots, its deep intellectual frameworks, and its proven biological benefits, how will you actively unite your mind and body to neutralize the stress of tomorrow? Whether that means practicing Nishkama Karma at your job, or maybe utilizing pranayama when you're feeling totally overwhelmed, the tools are right here. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the chapter. Keep learning, keep practicing, and I will see you in the next explainer.